Hey everyone, this is Eric Silvermoon, and I am beyond excited to share this with you. So let me share with you a little bit before we go into detail. So today we're doing a poppet, and some people call them poppets, some people call them voodoo dolls. Um, to me, just go ahead and use whatever resonates with you. I love both. I use them interchangeably. I'm sure that there's specific details, but this isn't an educational film about or a video about the education about the history of voodoo and the poppets. Hi, Stella. Stella's just popping in. So please practice discernment. This isn't my end all, the actual truth. This is just my interpretation and what resonates with me in my practice. And so moving forward, I'm so excited. And so, as you can see, this whole table is just filled with magical goodness. I have my working candle burning in the background. I have some amazing incense. I'm really creating this really cool magical space right now because this poppet is going to be very sacred to me, and I can't wait to share that. So this is going to be a two-part video. This first part, I'm going to show you this part, which I'm putting everything together, and I'm going to go ahead and sew it and seal the magic. The second part that I'll also upload today, that one's going to be about how I'm going to use them or use the poppet. And I'm going to share with you some other poppets that I've made in the past and how I've used them. And I'm going to be talking about how I'm going to decide to use this poppet in my practice. And so on Facebook, if you friend me on Facebook, which I encourage you to do so, I shared a couple pictures of the development of me sewing and creating the poppet. I'm also going to link to this video below, how I got to this point here, and the videos that I resonated with and inspired me to do so, especially when it came down to the hair. This is yarn hair. I just bought the knitting kind of yarn. I separated the fibers, I wet them, I combed them until it came to this very silky hair-like style. And so I'll link those videos as well. And I'm sorry that you could totally see crotch shot here, but it's the only angle that I have to get everything. So I apologize for the crotch shots. Um, but back to the poppet. I'm really excited. And so I originally called it My Little Man, but last night in a dream, my poppet came to me in, as you could see, in a female form. And I, like the goddess, come in different forms myself. And so my little assistant here, my magical workings, came to me in a female form, and her name is Luna. And I resonated that so much when I heard that her name in my dream, and who she is and how she's going to help me, completely took me to a new direction. And so as you can see, I already created the body. And so again, like I said, I'll go ahead and link the videos below on how I got to this point. And so I'm going to take away the needles because I have different things that we're going to use at different colors for the different steps. As you can see, the head is sewn in the back to gather all the fabric, but that's going to get covered with hair. The face, we're going to do the stitching here at the end. The eyes, I mean, you know me, I'm such an anime fan. I love my superheroes. I love my Sailor Moon. So everything's always inspired by, but what I was exposed to as a kid. So the eyes are yellow, and they're very big and bright. And then the body here has a nice little pocket for me to put my items in here, and the little legs. So cute. So I have a couple of things that I wanted to share with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a little bit of the cotton just to give the bottom a base, so that it's not just like my actual item sitting all the way at the bottom. I want those to kind of sit in the stomach of my poppet, because that's where most of the intent and buildup is going to be in there, is in the stomach and in the heart area. So I'm going to put just a little bit more. I'm not going to stuff it just yet, like super stuffed. I do want the body to be really, really packed, and so I'm going to go ahead and create almost like a little well underneath so I could drop the items in here, and it'll be surrounded and protected by the cotton. Um, and so I have herbs, and so the main herbs that I always use in stuffing is mugwort and lavender. They are, for me, the most witchiest herbs and very sacred to me in connecting to my goddesses and to create, connecting to my higher self, to my inner coyote. Um, you know, it's just magical little herbs that I can't do poppets or mojo bags without. So I did write a spell that I'm gonna go ahead and share that with you. You're gonna see the whole little thing. Um, at the end of this, I'm gonna do a candle prayer magic for Luna, which is that I'm gonna light a candle for her and place her and let that marinate and infuse with what I asked her to I guess who she is going to be for me and how I'm going to use her. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and desensitize my hands and create my little sacred space here so that I could go ahead and um, share my spell with you. So give me one moment. Okay. So what I just did right there is I cleared the area so that it's a clean space for me to do my spell. I called in my spiritual tribe in the 3 breaths that I took. I drew this pentagram to seal it with positive magic and positive intent. And then I go like this to kind of pressure seal that and keep that energy in here. My hands are tingling, so I could feel the presence of my tribe in here and support what I'm doing. So the spell, I like writing it in little parchment paper. It's easy for me to fold. And this is a letter that I wrote to Luna and giving her specific instructions on how I want her to help me. So I'm going to read this out loud. It says, "Dear Luna, you are my magical poppet. I need from you to always hold sacred space for me. I want you to witness and to record my magical moments. Assist me in the removal of negativity and toxic energies from my tools, objects, space, time, and my life. You will always assist me in charging and blessing all my items before use. You will add an extra boost to all of my magical moments in all its entirety. This feather, this bee, this citrine and amethyst symbolize my sacred items that connect you to me. My hair will bind us until I say we unbind. So mote it be, blessed be, and so it is. And I'm going to share with you the reason why I picked these items. For the past couple months, as I've been struggling with my spirituality and my life purpose and figuring that out, I have a family of these blue birds. They're stunning. They're always around me. They follow me to work. I see them at my office window. I see them at my home. One was very grateful enough for this purpose to leave me one of its blue feathers, and I want to put that in this poppet to symbolize that sacredness to my spiritual tribe, to the messages, to the elements of air, earth, everything. I resonate so much with the winged creatures, and so I want to go ahead and I'm going to very gently bend this feather and put it inside her body. The bee, I've been working with insect magic, and if you follow Feather Garden Bell, the witchy mommy, she just released, which I just purchased her whole entire set of spirit oils that have infused within it. I don't know if you can see the little bee, that imbued within it the essence and parts of the actual insect. And so this insect has been with me. It was actually left for me in my fairy garden where it just seemed like it just was there as a gift. And so it's very sacred to me, since bees connect me to abundance, to the goddess, to the female energy, and to just being that very working mentality and creating that magic, that inspiration, creativity, that driven force. And so I'm going to put this bead there as well, right in the center. Citrine, as many of you know, citrine and amethyst together are very powerful. I've had these for going on 6 years. And so it is a huge honor that I'm actually going to embed them in here. They normally are with me charging up my tarot cards, but since Luna here is going to be with me to charge those items for me, I felt that it was really appropriate to put those in within her rather than just a small little chip. So I'm going to put that in the center. And a lock of my hair, like I said, to bind myself to Luna in connection to my magic and who I am and who she will be in my life. And I'm going to put this spell here, so I'm going to fold it. And then I'll actually go with, I normally fold in 6s, and so I'm going to show you what I did. I always go in the name of the maiden, in the name of the mother, and in the name of the crone, and then in the name of the boy, in the name of the Father, and in the name of the sage. Blessed be. And I do that to honor the God aspect and the goddess aspect within myself and in nature. And now that I have that kind of filled up there, what I'm going to do is add another little layer, a very light layer around that. And I'm going to go ahead and put the magical herbs. And so again, I'm going to funnel it in so I can still put stuff in the center. I just want to create that nice little wall. And I'm going to open the lavender and place that in there and just stuff that there. Lavender is such a connection to me to protection, to beauty, to the goddesses, to the feminine divine energy that is within me, that I am. It connects me to my intuition, to my psychic abilities. I mean, it is the one to go, that one herb that you want to have in your witchy space. And mugwort, to me, it's so sacred. It is ancestral. It is such a deep connection to older magic and vision quests and just that lucid dreaming. That it's the most witchiest name I could think of is mugwort. But it's fantastic, and it has such a old magic, like I kind of said, to it, and having it in my magic is just a connection to all my ancestors and whatever magic that they've casted in their life. And so all this I'm putting in within her. And now what I'm going to do is that she has this little body here. It has the rest of her neck part. And so I'm going to stuff that in the center. And I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to lift the rest of her body all the way up. And so, I don't know if you could see, this is kind of what she's going to look like. And then there's string here, which I want to cover with the fabric. So I'm going to leave the armpits open so that I can keep putting in the stuffing, the cotton. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to lift all this all the way up to her neck. And this might be a little bit of a lengthy video because you're going to see me sew. And I'm going to grab my my tan color string, and I'm going to go ahead and start sewing the top part to her body. And not to go into too much of the history, because I do want to share that with you in the second video, but I've been working with Poppet magic for such a long time. Even when I was a kid, before I knew what I was doing, I did that with the toys that I had. They shared the most magical playfulness of my youth, and they're very sacred to me. I always slept with them. I always had them in my bed. my dolls, I guess in a sense, because they weren't really like toys. They were more like stuffed dolls, animals. Um, they saw my childhood. It's a big part of my growing up. They were around when they saw me at my worst too. They were somewhere in my room. And then when I felt guided to grow, well, when I grew up and I had to get rid of some of them, it became a little bit of like something magical was missing from my life, and I really do feel like that was a part of it. Um, and that's just how we are with kids. We have our own altars. We have so much things as children. We don't realize how magical we actually are until we get to be an adult. And it's interesting because I didn't realize that I poked my skin and I'm bleeding a little bit in the stitches. And so it's really kind of sealing my magic and myself in the actual sewing of it. So I'm actually interesting that I didn't feel that prick as I probably normally would. And the reason, for a long time, the name Luna really resonated with me. For those that watch Sailor Moon, her black cat was named Luna. I still want my black cat named Luna, but right now with this Poppet coming to me the way that she did, I'm really excited. And it's like I said, Goddess comes in many forms, and to me, this here is my little helper. Is just another way that she came to me. So I'm kind of sewing this part here, and I still have the back to sew, which I'm going to stuff a little bit more to the back of it. Okay. And again, I apologize because since I'm sewing, it will be kind of a lengthy video. I believe we're 17 minutes in. So I'm going to sew shut the other side here. Oops, where'd it go? And yeah, I left a little bit more here, so. And if you guys have ever done Poppets, some of you have been so gracious enough to allow me to witness some of them. They're stunning. I mean, voodoo dolls and Poppets don't have to look like the way they do in Hollywood. They don't have to be scary. They don't have to have, all this kind of stitching and stuff on it. And I'll discuss a little bit more on that part on my second video, but I know a lot of people that might watch this like, well, that's not a voodoo doll, or that's more of a Poppet or whatever, and that's okay. I'm not saying that you're wrong or anything, but my interpretation of those things are a little bit different. So I'm gonna go ahead and snip that, and I've seen, oh my God, so yeah, like I said, if some of you have shared some with me, I'm like blown away. I'm like, holy shit. That is powerful. I saw one just made out of entirely different cloths, roped together, and then they put like a face on it, and then there's feathers sticking out. It just looks so authentic and sacred and very old, and I love that. I love it. But for me, I want to make sure that I'm using something that is really going to resonate with me and who I am, and that appeals to my artistic eye, because like I said, anime, manga, Japanese culture, that resonates with me. So having something that I'm not gonna not be able to work with is really important. So I'm gonna stuff the back a little bit with some more stuffing to finish that part up. I'm going to push it all the way down. Sorry, Luna. She can't feel anything. I gave her a shot of something. And I'm going to put a little backside, give her a little butt. She needs to get curves. Okay, put the rest back here. And I'm going to move some of this towards the front because I want her to still have a belly. I just want to make sure that I'm doing this right. And you know, for those that are going to watch this to the entirety, like all the way through, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. But if you want to just skip ahead and look at different steps, you can. I'm not really good at the editing part of videos, so sometimes they can be a little bit long. I have videos that are like 40 minutes long, and I'm like, well, I could have edited some of that stuff. But for those that kind of just go through the whole thing and watch it, thank you so much. I mean, I really do value your time, and you know, time for me is very sacred. And for you, for even for just a moment of watching my videos and seeing what I put out is such an honor, and I'm deeply in appreciation of that. I do see your time as valuable, and for you to invest some of that time in what I do is just an honor, and thank you. So a little time to be grateful. So the body itself, I see that I need to put some more in this area. I don't want her to be uneven or lumpy. Okay, so, oh, that smells amazing. Okay, so I think that's good. And so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sew the back of it here. So I'm gonna see what I did with my string. And I'm gonna start sewing this up from this side all the way across. I just love the smell of mugwort and lavender together. It just smells really good. If you ever had mugwort and lavender tea, I highly recommend it. It's so good. I like to have it with a little bit of chamomile and um, and a little bit of sugar. It just depends on how much mugwort you actually use, because sometimes it does make the tea really bitter. And what's nice when you're doing poppets, it's really good to I'm really good at multitasking my intention, and so if you require to focus a little bit more in silence, it's very meditative to think about the intention of what this doll's going to bring or this puppet's going to bring into your magical life and into your practice, and the reasons for creating it. Um, I'm gonna make sure I get some of the fabric. This is a time where it's really good to put all your intent and um, what it is that you want at that time. And I realize that I'm leaving little bits of blood. And sorry if it's kind of gross. I didn't realize I cut myself or I stabbed myself, but there's a beauty behind it and it happened for a reason. I'm sealing it with blood magic, if that makes sense. And again, you can always forward to the next step. This step usually does take some time. One day soon, I promise, I will learn how to edit my videos as I continue to do more. But sometimes I kind of like the unedited videos. I like that they flow a little bit better. It gives me time to take notes, to kind of see the actual steps of things. Um, it's nice. Okay, so I'm coming to the end here. Okay, so I'm gonna do one last stitch. And I like things to look unfinished and messy. I mean, that's a part of like voodoo dolls and puppets. They're not meant to look clean and nice. And so this is the finished Luna. And so you can see there's the scars, there's the stitching, her little body, so cute. The back, I have it all stitched up. This is more what the scarring's at. And you know, there's story to this. And so let me take this string off that's just like hanging out of her butt. Okay. So there she is. And so the next step that I'm going to do is the hair. And so the hair is probably the most that took. The body didn't take long at all. The hair took maybe, I want to say an hour, almost 2 hours. Because what I did is that I take one strand of thick yarn and I separate all of them and then I tie them together and I wet them and then I brush the hair until it becomes really, really, really stringy and formable. Like you could actually steam it and it'll take a curl or anything like that. Again, I'll link that video. And so what I'm going to do, I have three sections to it, and so I'm going to see where I want it. I want to leave a little bit of, sorry that she's out of camera, but I kind of want to see where it's going to be at. And I think I'm happy there. And so that's kind of what it's going to look like. It's cute, 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 cute. And where's my white thread? And I did think about what it would look like if I glued it, but I think the whole purpose of this to actually do the whole sewing is part of the ritual of poppet making. So if I would have, let me actually move that here so I could sew that. If I would have just glued it, then I don't think I would like that. And the good thing is that if the seams bust, if something happens, something you need to re-go and sew it, that's part of the magic. It keeps it fresh. I mean, it's called whirring when you haven't gone to it or use them a lot. It recharges them because you're putting back the energy and the intent back into the doll, into your puppet, and you're rethinking your original intentions of why you created them in the first place. And it becomes something really, really special. And you do that when you're trying to embellish them, adding either if you decide to do clothes or anything like that. Doing that really connects you and you create a relationship because with Poppets, you want to, that's what it is. It's about creating that magical relationship so that they get to know you and you get to know them and you really develop that relationship and how each other communicate. And it's yeah, like I said, it's just a relationship. And so I'm sewing that in here. I want to make sure that I'm getting all these little bits. Okay, and I think that should be good. I'm not worried about this part here. I mean, her hair's going to be there. If I feel like it needs to be sewn, then I'll sew it a little bit more. But at this point here, I'm going to add the other little layer right at the hairline of the other one. And they blend really, really well when you start actually messing with it. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that part. And it's so interesting how I was just guided to change it because I was going to make it a little bit more voodoo-like, you know, like a little man, but that wasn't the way it was intended to, I guess. And so really interested to figure out how this little partnership, I guess, is gonna unfold and what we're gonna be able to accomplish together. And so I do plan to have her, like in my original intent, in my spell that I put within her, I do want her to be in the vicinity area or either right in where it's happening in my magic because I want her to witness it and record it and add to my magic as a boost. And so in that sense, it's a sacred connection. And again, feel free to skip through this part if you just want to go through the actual finished product, it won't bother me at all. I'm not gonna get upset about it. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure that I'm going right at the area that I need to. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna do one more before I add the last little layer. Okay, so the last part here, it's another strand, very similar. This is gonna go to the back of here, and so I'm gonna sew that, but the hair actually is going to cover all of this backside. So I'll show you that in a minute. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter the needle. Sewing needle there and come out somewhere. Okay, I want to make sure I don't stab myself again. Okay, perfect. I'm not going to worry about adding too many embellishments on her. I think as the relationship continues and grows, I'll be able to kind of see where I'm just going to allow her to kind of guide me in how she wants to look in that aspect. I did feel guided to pull two items, which I'll share with you what those are in just a moment. And now I'm going to sew this back part to her head. So I'm going to move this part here. I'm surprised that this string has gone this far without me having to reset it. You can always go back and, redo it, but I just want to make sure that I get the majority of it. Okay. I'm going to put this one right here so I don't lose it. And it does seem, let me just shape the hair out. I probably will go back after the video and just go back and sew a little bit more to make sure it gets it. But as you can see, the hair kind of sits like that. I'm going to tighten this part here, which is this part here, just to the scalp area, but it kind of fits here. I'm going to move it so you can kind of see it. And I like it. I like the hair effect. It feels very anime to me, very cute. And so the last thing, well, the second to last thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add the embellishments to the hair. And so I'm actually gonna sew these to the hair area. So I'm gonna restring my white. I'm gonna put this right here. This part's always so tricky. Oh, where'd it go? Okay. So these little things, I've used them in my practice a lot. I love them. They just have these really cool beads, silver gems on it. And what I'm going to do is on the, where the ears will probably go. So I'm going to look at it. I'm going to say that I think right there will be good. I'm going to go ahead and just sew that to the head. So I'm going to separate a little bit of the hair. So I'm going to see if you can see that. Okay, so I'm going to do that part here. And I'm just going to keep going, making sure that it's hanging out to the hair. Actually, I just took it out because I want to make sure that you could see it from the hair angle. So give me one moment. Okay. Because I do want it to sew onto the hair a little bit so it doesn't look like there's a hole back there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oop. Yeah, this way it's better because then it sews a little bit of the hair to that little area so it doesn't look like there's like a bald spot right where the jewel's at. And kind of bunches it there. So I like that actually. I think that should be enough. Okay, I'm going to share with you what it looks like in just a moment. I'm just going to go ahead and clean it up. Okay, so it kind of just hangs out. Just kind of hangs out like that a little bit of an embellishment. It looks better in person than it's probably coming across on the actual video. So I'm going to do the other side as well. I'm going to see if I need to rethread. I don't think I do. Okay, so here's the other little loop. I want to make sure that it's on both sides. Okay. And I'm actually going to loop this here so that it ties it in. Okay, I'm going to do 2 more. Okay. There we go. Okay, and then 1 more. And then again, I'll come back later to really secure it. Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but it just has the cute little loops there. I like it. So the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sew the mouth. And so I did the lines already of how I'm going to sew it. So bear with me. And the reason I'm sealing the mouth shut is because my magic And what she's going to witness and record, that's between me and her. So silence is a must and it's a requirement. Um, and the only way she'll communicate with me is through my intuition, through the way I get my readings, um, in that sense of just the magic part of it. So through, um, I guess, psychic ability. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to go ahead and poke this one and come out through this hole here. And I'm going to go over to this side here and go through this side up here. And I'm going to go following the dots that I've created. Oh, did I do that right? No, I did that right. And so then I'm going to come back here and come out to this point back here just to seal this part here. And I'm going to be coming back this way. Let me make sure that came out right. Okay. And I feel like I missed a hole. It's okay. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm just not going to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to this side here. We'll just do this. Oop, that's too far. Okay, and I could go back this way just to cross them again. And I'm going to go ahead and do this side here one more time to cross that little area. And so this part here that has like this little knot here, you could leave it there. For me, it kind of looks a little messy. So I'm going to come back this way to seal that part one more time and do my own little knot. Some people might like it. I'm going to see if I like it. Oop. It just looks like a bad little beauty mark. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut that part off so I can finish sealing it. Okay, one more knot, and that should be it. And I'm going to go on the other side so that I could match it. Just between here and here. Okay. And there she is. So this is Luna, and I'm gonna go ahead and kind of clean everything up and then get ready for the next video. So thank you guys for watching, and make sure you look at the links below to kind of see how I did the body and everything else, and how I did the hairstyle. So I really like it. I like how long the hair is. It covers its back kind of nicely. And so yeah, and so I'll go ahead and I will see you in the part 2 of this video. Thank you so much. Blessed be.